Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, another school's targeted by kidnappers in Nigeria's northwest. 3 teachers are abducted in Kaduna State after gunmen raid a primary school. Also, Human Rights Watch calls on the UN to do more to hold Cameroonian Anglophone separatists accountable for the ramped-up attacks and abductions of civilians. And Burna Boy's star burns brighter than ever. The Nigerian rapper is ecstatic as he takes home his first Grammy. In accepting the trophy for Best Global Music Album, he dedicates his win to Africans around the world. But first, in Nigeria, 3 teachers have been abducted from a primary school, the latest of a rash of school kidnappings in the northwest. Monday's attack in Kaduna State was the second attempt to abduct children since last Thursday's kidnapping of 39 students. Samuel Okoye joins us now with more.
This latest incident occurred 4 days after 39 students were abducted from a forestry institute in Kaduna town. This latest incident occurred at the Rima Primary School in Birnin Kebbi, a remote community in Kaduna State. The school children were said to have fled when the gunmen approached the school, but the gunmen were able to abduct 3 teachers. It is the second attempt in Kaduna State to abduct students en masse from a school since Thursday, when the 39 students were abducted from the Forestry Institute. Nothing has been heard about the students until Saturday, when a video showing them went online. The video showed their captors carrying assault rifles and wearing military uniforms. The video showed very disturbing scenes of their captors beating them up, and the girls appeared extremely frightened. The abductors are said to be demanding a ransom of more than 1 million euros. Mass abductions like this date back to 2014, when the Islamist group Boko Haram abducted 276 girls from a secondary school in Chibok town. In December, these abductions gained a frequency after 344 students were abducted from a secondary school in Katsina State. In February, 42 persons were abducted from a secondary school. Most of them were students. In the same February, 300 girls were abducted from a school in Jangebe town in Zamfara State. These latest abductions are believed to be carried out by a group of well-armed men who are abducting school children for money. Even though the government denies that ransom is being paid to these groups, many Nigerians believe that they are getting ransom, which is making them better armed and better organized and preparing them for more abductions.
Sam Olokoya there for us. Now, the trial against a former Malian coup leader, Amadou Sanogo, and 15 other defendants has terminated without a verdict. The court's decision has not gone down well with rights activists who say it sends the wrong message to those accused of abuses. Sanogo is accused of killing 21 soldiers in 2012. Nicolas Chemin has more.
Victims and their families were stunned. They never thought the Malian court would end the trial against former coup leader Amadou Sanogo and other defendants without even a verdict.
C'est la honte aujourd'hui. Cette date doit être inscrite dans l'histoire du Mali. Moi, je vais saisir la justice internationale. Là-bas, le droit sera dit.
En réalité, je suis choqué. Je ne m'attendais pas à ça. J'aurais préféré qu'il y ait des condamnations ce matin.
The court justified its decision by citing a controversial 2019 law. It offers amnesty for specific crimes committed during the 2012 crisis. That year, Sanogo had led a coup before rapidly handing power back to civilians. In this trial, he was accused with a dozen other people of having killed 21 elite soldiers.
L'impunité est une question centrale au Mali au jour d'aujourd'hui. Certains y voient une forme de consécration de l'impunité. C'est leur point de vue. D'autres y voient également une forme d'apaisement pour pouvoir avancer. C'est un point de vue également qui est tout aussi valable.
Mali is currently being governed by transitional authorities following another coup last year. Many analysts said the new government was worried about the repercussions the verdict could have had within the army.
Well, communities in Cameroon's English-speaking regions are being targeted by separatists who've been ramping up attacks and kidnappings. Since 2017, hundreds of people have been abducted, around 3,000 killed, and around 500,000 forced from their homes in the country's Anglophone crisis. Human Rights Watch is calling on the UN to do more to hold separatist abusers accountable. Regina Sondo with more.
A report by Human Rights Watch has accused separatist fighters in Cameroon for kidnapping people for ransom since 2017. The report highlights the recent kidnapping of a medical worker who was accused by separatist fighters for not respecting their call for an independent state. His abductors were reportedly given the sum of 500 euros, according to the investigation. The Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Cameroon has equally accused separatist fighters of extortion, harassment, and abduction. Their reports are documented in an investigation that was carried out between October last year and February 2021. A Cameroonian journalist was equally released on Monday after her abductors were paid ransom. She was reportedly captured near her home in the southwest region of Cameroon. Fame for Noise family has said they negotiated for her release and did not give an amount, but then separatists had asked for 15,000 euros. No group has claimed responsibility for this abduction, but separatist fighters are being accused.
Regina Sondo there for us in Yaoundé. Well, look now at some news in brief. Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine was arrested at an anti-government demonstration in Kampala on Monday. He was later driven back to his home by police, which he said was then surrounded by the military. Wine continues to reject the results of January's presidential vote. He says that he won and the re-election of Yoweri Museveni for a sixth term was fraudulent. Libya's new prime minister took office on Monday, vowing to unite the war-torn country. Abdel Hamid Dibeba was sworn in along with a new interim government in the eastern city of Tobruk. The cabinet will replace rival administrations which have battled in the violent chaos that followed the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The creation of a unity government caps 5 months of UN efforts to help pull together a roadmap to stability for Libya since last year's truce between warring factions. A man's been arrested in Tanzania for sharing posts claiming that President John Magufuli is ill. Now, he's not been seen in public for 2 weeks. The government's denied speculation that he is unwell or has contracted COVID-19. The Prime Minister has said that Magufuli is merely busy. Tanzanians posting online concerns that the president may be incapacitated have been warned by authorities that they are violating the country's cybercrime laws. Rights groups, meanwhile, accuse authorities of exploiting that legislation to suppress freedom of expression. Now, Nigerian superstar Burna Boy is on fire. He scored his first Grammy and in his ecstatic acceptance speech on Sunday said that his big win is one for Africans around the world. Take a look.
Twice as tall, Burna Boy.
Second time's a charm for Burna Boy. A year after he was first nominated, the Nigerian Afrobeat star won Best Global Music Album for his record, Twice as Tall.
In Africa, we're in the house. This should be a lesson to every African out there. No matter where you are, no matter what you plan to do, you can achieve it. No matter where you're from, because you are a king. Look at me now. Grammy award-winning Burna Boy.
His album was dubbed a masterclass in the vibe and hustle that have made Burna Boy an international musical force. It features artists such as Stormzy, Youssou N'Dour, Naughty by Nature, and Chris Martin of Coldplay. In 2020, Burna Boy lost out to Angelique Kidjo in the same category. The Beninese diva went on to dedicate her award to him, hailing him a trailblazer for a new generation of African artists. Born in Nigeria's Port Harcourt, Burna Boy released his first album, Life, an acronym for Leaving an Impact for Eternity, in 2013. This was followed by Redemption in 2015 and Outside in 2018. But it was with 2019's African Giant that Burna Boy really broke onto the international scene and earned his first Grammys nomination. Back home from Lagos to Abuja, his fans were thrilled.
I really love his music so much, and he has really inspired me. I think that's a very great achievement for Burna Boy and the Nigerian musical industry at large. Yeah.
Nigerian music is going to where it will be the new thing. If you don't listen to Nigerian music, you're missing something. And our guys have proved it.
Shout out to Burna Boy.
Burna Boy, making us proud all over the world. I'm so excited. It's an open door for every artist in Nigeria.
Because of the pandemic, the 63rd Grammy Awards were held in Los Angeles without an audience. It turned out to be a big night for African artists. Nigerian singer Wizkid also won the Best Music Video category for his song with Beyoncé, Brown Skin Girl, from Lion King, the Gifted album.
Great stuff. Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Thanks for joining us. Do so again if you can. Take care.
In 2011, France 24 followed Big Sam and his men fighting Colonel Gaddafi's forces in the streets of Tripoli.
Once Martyrs Square had fell, we knew that the end of Gaddafi was close.
10 years on, our reporters caught up with Sam, now known as Hussam Najer, as well as supporters of General Haftar, the warlord who's been fighting the UN-recognized government. Gaddafi may now be just a memory, but Libya remains deeply divided.
Revisited, presented by Stuart Norval on France 24 and France24.com. Special events.
On the 15th of March, it will be 10 years since the beginning of the war in Syria. All this week, we'll be taking a look back over the past decade. We'll explain how Syria became a battlefield pitting foreign powers against each other. And what of Bashar al-Assad? A decade ago, his days were thought to be numbered, yet he survived. Our correspondents in the region will revisit the last 10 years of war. Our reporters who covered the conflict will also give it their take on things across our 4 networks. Stay tuned to France 24 and France24.com.